What is going on, guys? We are back. In today's video, I'm going to be answering one of the most commonly asked questions I get, which is how do I use unusual whales to scan for trades on a daily basis? I'm going to go over my step-by-step process on what I look for so you can follow the flow. Before we get started, make sure you slam that like button and don't forget to subscribe as it helps out the channel a ton. Let's get into it right now. Now, if you guys aren't familiar, Unusual Whales is an options flow website that allows you to track large and unusual orders live throughout the day. This is a website that I use in my personal trading every single day. This helps me find where the big money is moving before they actually go there. You can also use it to track some of the biggest and largest options flow orders that come in from your favorite Speaker of the House, Nancy Pelosi.
This is a free market and we are a free market economy. They should be able to participate in that.
Now, again, this website has a lot of uses. It's not an end-all be-all. It's not going to help you become rich quick, but it is going to help you detect where the sentiment is going in the market as far as that bigger money option flow. Now, like I mentioned, Unusual Whales is a paid service. I use it every single day. If you're interested in trying it out, there is a referral link in my bio that will give you a 10% off code to try out Unusual Whales. When it comes to using Unusual Whales as a service itself, a lot of people have their own different way of using it, different things they look for, different specific filters they use. But for me, in this video, I want to go over the best beginner strategy to using Unusual Whales, as I know many of you guys are likely using option flow for the first or second or third time. And therefore, I don't want to overcomplicate things too much, but I want to go over some of the key things that I look for, because if you just follow flow itself and you don't have any filters, or you don't know what you're looking for and you just try to follow every single alert that comes through, you're obviously going to have a hard time finding success using that method. So what you want to do, in my opinion, and what I found success with early on, was focusing on a few stocks that I really liked and using the flow on those specific names in trading them. So Unusual Whales itself does have a live flow homepage, and that's the page that we're on right now. So if you're unfamiliar, it's unusualwhales.com. You can sign up. This is what you're going to see on the inside. So this is going to be the homepage, and this is going to have all of the flow right here on the homepage for you guys. Now, as far as filters, this is going to be the first thing that we have to go over. So let's get into the settings themselves. Now, guys, like I mentioned, every single person has a different way of organizing their filters and looking for that specific flow that they want to see. For me, the first thing that I do when I'm setting my filters is I set my premium range as a minimum of 70,000. Now, the reason that you want to do this, and you can pick whatever number you'd like. Personally, the reason that I set it at 70,000 is I want to make sure that whatever whale that I'm trying to follow the flow on actually is a bona fide whale. If you don't have a set premium range, you could see a call sweep for $15,000 on Lucid calls. But in all reality, any Joe Schmo can sweep $15,000 worth of Lucid calls. And at that point, there's no real point to the service, because you could just be following some guy in his mom's basement that decides that he wants to buy $15,000 worth of Lucid calls that are out of the money for the same week expiration. But in this case, $70,000 for me is kind of like that benchmark minimum, where if someone's putting down $70,000 into an option play, more likely than not, they have a pretty good reason behind putting that money in. And that is the whole point of the service, is to follow the bigger money that might be one step ahead of where you are without following the flow.
I see everything, Carl. I'm 50 moves ahead of you and everybody else.
So for me, I set my premium range at a minimum of 70,000, and that's kind of the first thing that I like to do. Now, as far as the data expiration range, this is going to be the next filter that I want to cover. So for me, myself, I am a short-term trader. So I am looking at over the next couple of days, if maybe not a week, what type of move are we going to see in a stock? So for me, I'm trying to follow the large moves up or the large moves down. And for me, Unusual Whales is a source of confirmation. So I source my trades based on key levels and momentum and market sentiment. But again, I'm looking for a short-term move up or down. So therefore, I'm going to set my data expiration range as 7 days from today's expiration. That's going to give me a week out. Obviously, today's a Monday, so this is going to give me to the end of this week. This is going to really give me a good idea of where last week's flow is kind of leaning towards this week. Now, as far as the other filters go, only other two filters that I really have on is going to be the sweep only, and this is again a personal thing. An option sweep, to understand why you should use this filter, why you may want to use this filter, is I use the option sweep because that is going to be a large order of options that is sweeping across all different exchanges in order to get that whatever amount of contracts worth of premium that they want, right? So I put on sweeps because I found the most success using those sweep trades as confirmation, and I usually like to follow out of the money contracts. Now, this is a point of personal preference once again, but personally, in the money calls and puts, they don't tell as much of a story as when you are looking for a large move, right? And that is the whole point of me using unusual whales, and where I have found success using it is when those larger whales are looking for bigger moves, right? I don't want to see a 20-cent move on a stock. Anybody can buy SPY calls and it goes up $1, right, or 1 point, and they sell, right? But for me, what I'm looking for is when I see unusual out of the money options orders. That is what has been always a source of confirmation in these trades for me. So again, I have out of the money only, sweep only, data expiration is 7, and obviously again, minimum premium range at 70,000. So once you set those filters, you're going to see obviously all those trades that came in that are going to be from this past Friday. And it's going to be on, a variety of tickers, right? We have some S&P 500 trades, a Carvana trade, Tesla, IWM, right? These are indexes, NVIDIA, QQQ, right? Tesla, Apple, etc. So in this example, like I said, I want to use this for a specific stock that I like to trade. So say on Friday, I really like to trade Lucid. So on the 18th, this order was placed. It was a buy order for the $39 puts. They had 3 days till expiration. Lucid was trading at $40, and it was worth $347,000 worth of premium. So on the 18th, Lucid was obviously over the $40 price point. Lucid ended up actually closing the week at $37, right? So these puts for the $39 strike bought on, I believe, Wednesday would have actually paid really, really well heading into the end of the week, because Lucid actually closed well under 39. It was in the 37s on Friday. And so this was actually a really nice options trade. And again, that kind of gave a direction. Lucid was at 42 in the middle of the week, ended up closed at 37. I didn't follow the trade, but it was a decent understanding of, where that overall direction was heading. This was for $347,000 worth of premium. So I think that that's, a pretty decent example of, okay, large money, that's a great order, right? That's one that I would actually pay attention to. Even though I have the flow premium range set at 70,000, for me, I'm really paying attention to those orders that are going to be over 150, 200, 300,000. That's some serious money that's going into options orders, especially short-term expirations. Anybody can put a large amount of money into leaps. We see senators and Congress men and women do that all the time, and there's not as much risk because you have so much time. If you have $350,000 in an option order that expires in less than 3 days, you probably have a decent idea of where a stock might be heading, if you know what I mean. All right, guys, so for this next example, I want to go over Amazon. For this example, I actually turned off the sweep only filter just to show you kind of the difference. Obviously, this is going to open it to a lot more orders, as there's only a few single orders every day that are going to be sweeps. Like I mentioned, sweeping across all exchanges to get that best price for that premium on that specific strike. So in this case, we're looking at Amazon. I've also, for this example, turned off the calls filter. And this is because Amazon, for example, broke a key level on the weekly chart on Friday. So for this example, I wanted to go over kind of the bearish flow. You can always go back and look at calls by themselves, but sometimes I find it useful if I'm trading a stock that's going in a certain direction based on the level that it's broke, or to the upside or downside. Oftentimes it can be helpful to kind of filter out a lot of the noise. So for this one, we're looking at the bearish flow on Amazon. Obviously, you can see there was a lot of major put orders that went in on the 21st, which is this past Friday. This was a buy order for the 2850 puts. This was expiring this upcoming week, and it was for $170,000 worth of premium. That was not the only order that we saw of similar size, right? We saw another buy 2800 puts for this next upcoming week, $75,000. Another one, the 2840 puts. This one for $90,000. These are good orders to look at, guys. As you can also see, other ones here, $103,000. These are pretty big orders, $231,000. This one is for $500,000. This is for the 2860 puts, over $500,000, guys. That is absolutely insane. This is part of what went into my conviction behind my Amazon short on Friday, was looking at these premiums and understanding, okay, there's a lot of big money, $500,000 going into options that expire in less than a week for an out of the money put option on a stock that's breaking a key level to the downside. That's decent confirmation to at least think about taking that trade. So I'm going to go ahead and put the calls back on just to quickly kind of go over. Obviously, like I said, this is going to open your page up to a lot more orders, which is fine. But as we can see, the put premium is definitely kind of outweighing the call premium here. But again, what you want to look at is not just the total premium outweighing, you want to look at the size of the orders, right? So in this example, there are 2 calls here. There's actually one call that's buying the 29.10 calls. They had 4 days to expiration. Obviously, it expires the upcoming Friday for $115,000. But as you can see, there's definitely a lot more buy to opens on the put side, just in terms of total premium. And now again, this is where you have to realize flow cannot tell you the entire story. You have to use it for confirmation, and oftentimes we can kind of convince ourselves into seeing what we want to see. So that is why it's important, why you can look at just puts and understand, okay, these are the size of the orders. It's always helpful to, do the same thing to the other side, because you don't want to be biased, right? You want to understand, okay, what are the size of the orders that are coming in on Amazon calls at the same time, and understanding where are the largest premium orders. Now, in this case, the largest premium order that I saw for a single strike was that $500,000 put on Amazon for this upcoming week. All these call orders, while they may be a little bit larger in size, still that put order is the largest in terms of total premium in terms of dollars, right? So $581,000. Haven't seen another order bigger than that. And for me, a lot of the time, that's what factors into my decision is, okay, if someone's putting in $500,000 into an option order, you probably have a pretty decent clue as to where the stock might be headed. All right, guys, hopefully today's video gave you a really nice basic understanding of how to use Unusual Whales for specific stocks. I could spend hours going over all of the awesome and amazing features that Unusual Whales offers that can be really helpful in your trades and investing. But for today, I want to keep it basic so you guys get a really good foundation of how to use Unusual Whales to help you follow the flow. Take it easy, guys. Peace.